I don't want the BBL anymore. I don't want it. 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 I'm sitting here. I'm filling out this form that was given to me. Look. Guys, the video is not doing it justice. Oh my God. She's coming again. Let's see. No, I don't want that. That's not what I want. What? She works here. Maybe I should go home. I don't know. I don't want that. No. What did I get myself into? Oh my God. What's it calling it?
Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash, and double honors and respect to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth, as well as much respect and honors to the brothers that are pushing this truth in sincerity across the four winds of this earth and risking their lives and freedom to do so. I would also like to give much honors and respect to the brothers and sisters that are of the hopeful elect, that are doing their very best to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High to the best of their abilities. Shalom. As you saw in this short video that I just shared with you, you have this Eve right here, and she's talking about getting a BBL. And I believe this Eve, she may be, I don't know, I mean, according from just listening to her accent, she may be a Benjamite. I'm not really sure. I do know that she's an Eve. But anyway, she's talking about, getting a BBL. And here it is. I guess she's having second thoughts about getting it, because here it is. She saw there was an employee, that works at this, at this hospital that she's at. And I guess this employee must have had a BBL. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, this employee right here. She was looking at this woman right here. And it appears as though this woman right here in this still photo has a BBL. And you see how she looks. Okay, she looks totally all out of proportion. She looks like some type of ant or something like that. Now, here it is. I mean, lately, a lot of women, a lot of these Eves, they've been running down here getting these BBLs. And speaking of these Eves getting these BBLs, a lot of them have been getting sent back to the spirit world as a result of going under the knife and allowing these doctors to cut on them and inject, all types of different things into them. A lot of Eves have been, coming up short. They have been getting sent back to the spirit world as a result of this. Now, here it is, running down here getting these BBLs and getting all these different, enhancement surgeries and whatnot. That's totally going off. Okay, totally going off. But here it is, lately I've been noticing you have a lot of our people, a lot of Eves, they've been running down here, getting these different surgeries and whatnot, these BBLs. And I've even seen, some Eves getting, like lip enhancement surgeries. And here it is, our people, for the most part, especially the Southern Kingdom tribes, we already have full lips. But I'm seeing, a lot of these Eves are getting lip enhancement surgeries. They're getting something done to their cheeks and whatnot. They look artificial for the most part. They don't even look human anymore. But, this right here is totally going off, getting all these different enhancement surgeries. Now, here it is, this Eve right here, she was, having second thoughts about getting it, okay? Getting the surgery, especially after she saw this woman right here. Now, here it is, I will say this, there's nothing wrong with, wanting to have a nice body, but, the best way to achieve a nice body, the best and safest way to achieve a nice body is to just go ahead and get a gym membership, okay? But see, here it is, a lot of our people, They want these fast results and whatnot. Okay, they want fast and easy results. And as a result, you have a lot of these Eves, they don't want to, not saying all of them, but a lot of Eves, they don't want to, get into the gym and work out. A lot of them, they want to get those quick and fast results. And so they're running down here and they're allowing these doctors to cut on them and do all this and inject this into them and inject that into them and nip on this and whatnot, tuck on that. And as a result, a lot of them are getting bad results. They're looking funny. They're looking like, like bugs, looking like ants and whatnot. And also, too, there's been cases where you're having a lot of women that's going under the knife, getting these different cosmetic surgeries. They're getting sent back to the spirit world. Here it is. I saw an article that popped up on my phone today, where you had this woman, and I believe she may have been a Northern Kingdom Eve. I think she was from the tribe of Issachar. She was like, I think, a social media influencer. She was probably no more than maybe 30 years old. I think she had a 6-year-old daughter. Anyway, she went to have some cosmetic surgery done, and she ended up perishing as a result, of having a cosmetic surgery, according to the article that I saw. And, this right here was ultimately a judgment coming from the Lord Yahweh Bashim Bashai. Because, again, the Lord is not with these, these cosmetic surgeries, these BBLs and things like that. And again, a lot of these women that get these things, they just look funny. They look artificial. They look worse off, But, I saw this short video right here, and I just thought that I would bring out a lesson. I'm going to go ahead and go straight to the scriptures. The first scripture I actually want to go to is in the book of, this is the book of Ezekiel, and this is chapter 1. And I want to start, this is Ezekiel chapter 2, and I want to start in verse 1. And it reads, "And he said unto me, Son of man, stand upon thy feet, and I will speak unto thee." Verse 2, "And the Spirit entered into me when he spake unto me, and set me upon my feet, that I heard him that spake unto me." Verse 3, "And he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that had rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me, even to this very day." Okay, and see, the children of Israel, that's you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and those that are of the speckled bird that look like these other nations, but you go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob on your father's side. And see, here it is, our people are rebellious. The 2/3 of our people over here in Babylon the Great, they're rebellious, okay? They reject the words of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Bashai. Okay, the 2/3 of our people, they just want to do whatever they want to do. They just want to live in pleasure. Okay, you have a lot of our people, they want to run down here. Okay, they want to get these different surgeries and whatnot. A lot of our women, okay, they want to run down here and get these different surgeries and whatnot. And, a lot of them are getting sent back to the spirit world as a result. But again, that's totally going off because the Lord Yahweh Bashim Bashai is not with these different surgeries, these different enhancement surgeries and whatnot. And again, the safest and most effective way, to have a nice body is to just go ahead and get a gym membership. That's the safest and most effective way. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have a nice body, but running down here and allowing these different doctors to cut on you and everything like that, that's totally going off. Okay, and see, the Lord said that we're supposed to be a special people, okay, a holy people, meaning separate. But a lot of our people, they want to take on the ways, of these heathens. A lot of our people, they want to take on the ways that's pushed out over here in Babylon the Great. You got a lot of our women, here it is, they're looking at all of these different, celebrities and whatnot, that's getting these different these enhancement surgeries and whatnot, and they want to try to imitate what they're seeing these celebrities doing, and then running down there, allowing these doctors to, nip and tuck on them and inject this and inject that in them, and it's not ending well for them. They're either getting bad results or they're getting sent back to the spirit world. Ezekiel chapter 2 and verse 1 again, it says, "And he said unto me, Son of man, stand upon thy feet, and I will speak unto thee." Verse 2, it says, "And the Spirit entered into me when he spake unto me, and set me upon my feet, that I heard him that spake unto me." Verse 3, "And he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that had rebelled against me." And see, again, our people, the majority of our people, they're rebellious as hell. Okay, over here in Babylon the Great, you got the 2/3 of our people, they're rebellious. They reject the words of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Bashai. They see the men of the Lord out on the highways and hedges, preaching this gospel. And here it is, they walk past the men of the Lord. They They turn their noses up at the men of the Lord. Okay, they mock and scoff at the men of the Lord. Okay, you've even had some of our people, they'll even try to come up and try to teach, and try to teach you. Okay, they'll try to teach the men of the Lord. It says, to a rebellious nation that had rebelled against me, they and their fathers have transgressed against me, even to this very day. And again, you still got, 2/3 of our people over here in Babylon the Great. They're rebellious. They're being wicked. Okay, they rejecting the words of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Abashah. And again, running down here, getting these different plastic surgeries and whatnot, these enhancement surgeries and whatnot, that's totally going off. Okay, because we don't supposed to be, allowing these doctors to cut on you and inject this in you and all that type of stuff. And again, if you want to get a nice body, get a gym membership. Okay, that's the safest and most effective way to contour your body or to get a nice body. Again, there's nothing wrong with wanting to have a nice shape and everything, but the safest and most effective way to do it is to go ahead and get a gym membership. But that's too hard for a lot of these women. They won't fast and easy results. Okay, this is Revelation, and this is chapter 17, and this is verse 1. And it reads, "And there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sat upon many waters." Okay, and see that great whore that sat upon many waters, that's talking about America, also known as Babylon the Great. Revelation chapter 17, verse 2, it says, "With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication." Okay, and see that being made drunk with the wine of her fornication, that's talking about the wicked philosophies, okay, that's pushed out over here in Babylon the Great. The different enchantments that's pushed out over here in Babylon the Great. Okay, because here it is, these different philosophies and enchantments, that's pushed out over here in Babylon the Great. They're contrary to the Lord Yahweh Bashem Abashah's law, statutes, and commandments. And see, here it is, Esau, he pushes out all these different wicked philosophies and enchantments that are contrary to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Abashah. And here it is, you have many of our people, they have taken on these different wicked enchantments and philosophies. Okay, here it is, what Esau will do is, he'll use these different celebrities, like your Cardi B's, your Suki Hunters, your Kardashian sisters, with all of these different, plastic surgeries and whatnot, BBLs and lip augmentations and whatnot. And he'll put them on magazines and give them television shows and whatnot, give them different platforms to basically promote these different plastic surgeries and whatnot and BBLs, to try to make it seem as though, that getting these different, procedures is a good thing when it's not a good thing. Okay. These things are an abomination to the Lord Yahweh Bashem Abashah. But, here it is. You'll have many of our women, they'll try to imitate these different celebrities and whatnot, and they'll run down here, and they'll allow these doctors to inject on them, certain, things into them, to cut on them and whatnot. And here it is, as a result, a lot of these Eves that are doing this, here it is, when they come out of the doctor's office from, allowing these doctors to do these different things to them, they come out looking all funny. They're looking like, their bodies looking all, weird and whatnot, looking like ants and whatnot. Everything just, it just looks totally out of proportion. I see a lot of these women with these BBLs, and they look through. Okay, they look through. And also too, as I had mentioned, a lot of these, women that are running down here getting these cosmetic procedures and whatnot, they're getting sent back to the spirit world. And again, that's the ultimate judgment coming from the Lord Yahweh Bashem Abashah, because the Lord is not with these different cosmetic surgeries and whatnot. That's totally going off. Okay. We're going to go to, this is the book of Leviticus, and this is chapter 21, and this is verse 5. I don't plan to keep this lesson long. This is Leviticus chapter 21, verse 5, and it reads, "They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corners of their beard, nor make cuttings in their flesh." Okay, it says make cuttings in your flesh. Now here it is, in order to get these different BBLs and these other, enhancement surgeries and whatnot, these doctors, they have to cut on you. And that's totally going off. Okay, totally going off. Allowing these doctors to cut on you, just so that you can have a big butt, that's just wrong. Okay, that's vain. That's just meaningless. And again, it's totally going off. Okay, totally going off. And again, you're having a lot of Eves that are getting these BBLs, and they're having issues. I can remember there was a an incident where you had this Eve. She went somewhere, I think, to the Dominican Republic to get a BBL. And here it is, while she was over there getting that BBL, I think the doctor ended up stealing the kidney from her. Okay. And see, now here it is. I mean, you know what I'm saying? She's left, she's got one kidney, taken from her. And I think as a result of, having that kidney taken from her and having that procedure done, she's got to be on medication for the rest of her life. Okay. But that's what happens, okay, when you transgress against the Lord Yahweh Bashim Abishai. Because again, running down there getting these different surgeries and whatnot, it's totally going off. Leviticus chapter 21, verse 5 again, it says, they shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh. Okay. Now here it is. I will say this right here. Now, if you're in an emergency situation to where a medical procedure is needed, then that's when grace comes in. Okay. The things that, where we fall short upon, the Lord covers us, on those things. And so like if you're in a life or death situation, to where you have to have a medical procedure in order to, have your life saved, that's just say, for example, and Lord forbid this happens, but that's just say if someone got shot or something like that and you have to have a procedure to have a bullet removed, then what else can you do? But with that being said, the Lord knows that, and we're not speaking on those type of things. But if you're willfully or if you're voluntarily, cutting, in your flesh, such as getting like, cosmetic surgeries or BBLs and boob jobs and tattoos and things like that, that's totally going off. Okay. And you have a lot of our women, they're running down there getting these different procedures and whatnot, And here it is, as I had mentioned, a lot of them, when they get these different procedures, they come out looking all goofy and weird. They look engineered. They don't even look natural anymore. Okay. I want to end off here in the book of, this is 1 Timothy, and this is chapter 5, and this is verse 6. As I was saying, I didn't plan to keep this lesson long. It says, but she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. Okay. And see, here it is, these Eves and that are getting these different, surgeries, these BBLs and body enhancement procedures and whatnot. They're living in pleasure. Okay. Because what they're doing is they're altering their bodies to try to achieve a certain look, to basically try to, get attention and whatnot. Here it is. You have a lot of these different Eves that get these different BBLs and procedures and whatnot. They'll get on social media all half dressed and everything. And they'll shake these BBLs and everything like that, trying to get attention, the wrong attention. Okay. Here it is. You'll have these Eves, they'll get these different, BBLs and surgeries and whatnot to try to turn heads and to try to get attention from guys. Okay. And see, here it is, a lot of men are actually, speaking out against, these women getting these BBLs. Because again, here it is, a lot of these women that are getting these BBLs and whatnot, they look engineered. I mean, they look funny in many cases. And again, the attention that these women are trying to get by, running down there and allowing these doctors to cut on them, it's the wrong attention. Okay. And see, here it is, a lot of these, these women that are getting these different procedures and whatnot, like these BBLs, a lot of these men don't even take these women seriously. Okay. They just look at them for, for like, just basically just having, one night of fun with them or just having pleasure with them. And that's it. Okay. Let's read this again. This is 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 6. It says, but she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. Okay. And see, here it is, these Eves that are getting these different, body enhancement procedures and whatnot. They're basically spiritually dead. Okay. Because if they feared the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh, they would not be running down here to these doctors and allowing these doctors to cut on them, just so that they can try to achieve a certain look. Okay. And see, with that being said, being spiritually dead, can and will lead to a physical death or destruction. Okay, because here it is, as I had mentioned, a lot of these women, that are running down there getting these different body enhancement procedures, they're getting sent back to the spirit world. As I had mentioned earlier in this lesson, there was a woman, and I believe she was a Northern Kingdom Eve. She was only 30 years old, and she had a body enhancement procedure. And shortly afterwards, she ended up perishing. Okay, she ended up getting sent back to the spirit world. Hey, and she was spiritually dead because, again, I mean, I'm saying? If she feared the Lord, she wouldn't be running down there to these doctors and allowing these doctors to cut on them. But again, this right here, it just goes to show you that, the Lord is not with these different these BBLs and plastic surgeries and things like that, these body enhancement surgeries and whatnot. The Lord is against those things. Okay. And a lot of these women that are getting these things, they're living in pleasure. Okay. They're spiritually dead. And again, being spiritually dead can and will lead to a physical death or destruction. And so, again, getting these different procedures is totally going off. Totally going off. And the Lord Yahweh is sending a lot of these women back to the spirit world as a result. And so, I'm going to go ahead and end off here. I just saw this short TikTok video, and I just thought that I would bring out a quick lesson. I hope it was edifying. Once again, I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and double honors and respect to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Kwame Yasharada and Abba Baba. Shalom.